I don't know if you folks have ever heard of Tupac's HOAX Revealed channel on YouTube. Very great channel, by the way. If you don't have anything to do under this quarantine, very interesting channel. It suggests that Tupac Shakur was a CIA agent and gives very, very good evidence to suggest that in all the chapters of the videos that they have compiled. I would strongly advise you folks, if you have nothing to do and you're interested in that shit, this is a good channel for you guys to hook it up, okay? So what I'm going to do here is I am going to put on a chapter of that Tupac's Hoax Revealed. This is chapter 41, Tricked into Gangster Rap. Okay? Tricked into Gangster Rap. Now, the reason I like this chapter is because it's reiterated how gangster rap was used and created to make the black community correlate pimping hoes, being thugs, being gangsters, welfare carols, like this whole degradation of what has happened to the black community. Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg should be, in my opinion, sued by folks that have lost their family members to gang violence. And black folks, you need to realize that gangster rap is not a part of your culture. It was incepted, suggested, and now you all have accepted it as your culture. So, just saying.
This is my Tupac Shakur. He has all the tattoos that he actually has. He has the 50 NIG word. He has the life.
Biggest laws of Judy Mafia, some more kids. We running, steady running, keep on busting at the booth. You know the booth. Smoking dope, it's like a sharp high. Niggas get they learn to fly. But they burn, motherfucker, you deserve that. West side. All my 4-5 make all y'all kids don't grow.
Just so far, I'll be waiting for you. Until you get through, I'll be waiting. Since it's been so far, I've been waiting for you. Until you get through, I'll be waiting. I can break some bricks so good.
But the music industry is a secret society, and the music industry's job is to do what? Promote and propagate the images that are most advantageous for the power structure to use in order to facilitate its agenda. If we want black men in jail and dead, we need black rappers to promote a constant message of destruction and degeneracy. Every rap video has elements in it. Killing black people, using women, smoking weed, selling dope, and worshiping materialism. Every rap video. The lyrics might be different, the beat might be different, but the 5 elements of destruction are there present in every single rap video made except for the conscious rap.
We in the club, you rock with us, you ain't a thug, Shout out to my real niggas.
Star, we on the block, we keep it block. If a nigga move, hollow tips at your fucking top. I bet you can get shot. What you gonna say that I ain't fucking Tupac, but he's my dog, and I love that he on the dope. He don't die, I'll represent him.
Music just changed my life as a whole. When I'm in a bad situation, and this isn't a f***ing joke, it's like, what would Tupac do?
Today we have all come together to join forces to address the issue of violence in the nation. A violence which has decimated our communities, devastated our families, and destroyed the souls of so many of our youth.
Have grown more violent and depraved.
I've said from the beginning that this music is drug-driven, greed-driven, and violence-driven.
Rap music, gangster rap songs that debase women, degrades the value of life.
As a black woman still calling us hoes, bitches, and sluts. It's calling us niggers. And now it's also defaming our faith.
We are driven by hip-hop. And you got to realize that everything that we do, the culture, the atmosphere is driven by hip-hop. They control it.
Rap is the dominant favorite among African American males, is a big favorite among young white suburban males.
We don't control what's driving the black community. They do. They do.
Picture perfect. I paint a picture, bomb the hoochies with precision. Ain't nothing but a gangster party.
Making money off a record that is suggesting it's okay to kill cops, and that is wrong.
Also coming in for heavy criticism lately, the lyrics in some, not all, but some, rap music. As correspondent Bill Whitaker reports,
the group's name itself is controversial. Niggers with Attitude, known as NWA, has taunted law enforcement with its lyrics urging violence against police.
You know, when you go back and you look at the type of music that black people had out, you know, before hip-hop, look at the kind of music. It makes you really wonder why would you put out gangster rap. When you see the interviews of Jerry Heller and, you know, Dr. Dre and them now talking about what happened back then, Jerry Heller's talking about how he went to Capitol Records and went to these other labels, and they basically was like, you can't put this stuff out. You know, then he went to Priority, and Priority Records was, you know, accepted him and this and that. And how when NWA shot the video, you know, straight out of Compton, sent it to MTV, and MTV was like, hell no, we're not playing this. And you gotta remember, a lot of people don't realize that whole thing was a publicity stunt to get African Americans to accept this gangster rap. Because contrary to what you may believe, I know it's hard to believe, you had people out there who was really against, black people, who was totally against this gangster rap because they can see what it was. So they had to bring us in on it. Do you honestly think if NWA would have just came this music, I mean, it just, bam, it's on all the radios, on the TV, the video, and they talking about murder, killer, drugs, this and that, black people would have stepped back and said, oh, you tripping. They're gonna think that's all of us. They're gonna think there's something wrong with us. You can't put this music out. We would have protested it, and we did protest it. This is what you don't see.
WPGC. An anti-rap backlash is spreading. WPGC in Washington, D.C. dropped violent or demeaning lyrics 3 years ago. Last month, KACE in Los Angeles followed suit. This week, WBLS in New York City.
It's in pop music, it's in rock music, it's everywhere now. It's an epidemic of bad news for our communities around the country.
Support everything that's positive that's going on in the community.
Stop the Violence, a grassroots watchdog group in Los Angeles, pressed KPWR to rein in rap as a public service.
It's just crazy when you see a 4, 5, 6-year-old child walking down the street echoing N-word, nigga, bitch, hoe, killing somebody, this or that, and they can't even say their ABCs.
We did protest this music, but when you have Jerry Heller, when you have the story of NWA out there the way that it is, it changes the perception. So when you look back at it, you see that they're saying that the label said no, and then right after MTV said no, we're not going to play your music video. How come it was on the news? How come that made headlines that MTV turned down gangster rap group NWA's music video? Well, I put that out there. If they really didn't want people to know about gangster rap or hip hop, if they didn't want to spread it, you most certainly don't put it on national news. You don't put it on TV so people can look at it and say, well, how come they don't want these black people to play their black music on MTV? What's up with that? We remember they didn't want to play Michael Jackson. So that's something to stimulate black people into saying, okay, now I want to play another black group. What's up? What's wrong with their music? And get us to rally behind NWA. Then you look at all of the interviews that followed it. As I said, these are the same companies that own the labels. So we gotta peep the track.
See this chamber right there? This is no bullshit. This is real. 9mm in your ass. 9mm.
You gotta carry these or you get fucked up on the street. So you gotta be
prepared. This got an infrared scope on it. You put the dot on your target, then you blow this shit out the motherfucker. No joke.
Okay, now, in your records, you know,
everybody grew up in the street.
Killings, robbery, murder, thieving, and everything. The whole 9 yards, dope dealing, everything. Everything you hear on our records is true.
Yeah, we figure you can't rap about nothing you don't know nothing about.
All these news companies down there interviewing NWA. And NWA on TV saying the right thing. They saying, oh, well, you know, we just trying to talk about what really goes on. We're just trying to give people the truth about the black neighborhood. It's not gangster rap. It's not promoting drugs, not promoting violence, which it was, of course, to keep it real. But it's just we trying to get our voice out. We're trying to be heard. And what happens? You get black people saying, yeah, let the niggas be heard. They trying to stop something that we doing. See, they understand us. They got us figured out. They knew what would stimulate us, what would get us to rally behind gangster rap. And that's what it was. You had a bunch of people telling us that we can't do something as black people. So you have black people listening to this music. First of all, as I just told you, it bypasses all of the defenses of your brain. So automatically when you hear this music and you get this stimulation and then the beat is bumping and it sounds good, automatically you're going to like it. But when you examine the content, you can't in a conscious mind say that it's good. But that's what's happening, and we're not understanding that in our conscious state, we're not seeing, you know, what it is. You have to be strong and have some kind of control over your brain to really analyze this, you know, these lyrics, this content, and say, hey, something is wrong with this. Analyze it. It should be played, and we should have said that from the jump. But they got us suckered into the whole black versus white thing, as they knew that would happen. And Jerry Heller was smart in doing it like this. They even came out and said, I think it was the president or the CEO of Priority Records came out and said himself, the whole thing was a publicity stunt. He said it. I think in the documentary that Chris Rock narrated, he says it in there. He said there's a publicity stunt to basically bring hip hop in. And that's what it was. You wasn't going to get us to accept it, but telling us we can't have something make us want it even more. And that's what it was. That's an old trick. Tell somebody they can't have something, and then we automatically want it. And that's what happened. So you remember that, you know, that was like 1988 when it came out. 1989, you know, MTV finally plays NWA, and we see him in Yo MTV Raps, and they put out Express Yourself. And that's another video, another song that's deceptive, that gets you to think that, okay, well, they're just expressing themselves. What's wrong with expressing yourself? You know, First Amendment right.
I hope that people that like gangster rap and shit understand what that brother was trying to say. Once again, Tupac Hoax Revealed is the channel on YouTube. It's got a bunch of content that you guys could get lost in, and it makes a very substantial case that Tupac is not only not dead, but he was a CIA agent.